Do you want to know how to use your lead leg like the pros do to get more speed and more accuracy? In this next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I'll see you soon. Hey, it's Troy from Hitting It Solid here. So you want to know how to use your lead leg in the downswing just like the pros do. Now this is a really key position to help you generate more power and more consistency in your golf swing. So when I talk about the lead leg, the first thing you probably need to understand is, well, what's the incorrect way of doing it? Well, I know when I first started playing golf, one of the first things you get told in the downswing is, as I got to the top, was to really bump those hips forward like that. And you'd bump the hips like that, and you'd have to rely a lot on the timing of your hands to really hit the ball solid. And you ended up in a position with a lot of what's called reverse access tilt or secondary access tilt, and you'd end up in a position like this with your hips way forward and you'd be hanging back like this trying to hit the ball solid. And that's very much the way a lot of golfers still play the game. When they start that downswing, the lead head really pushes forward and they end up back like this. Involves a lot of timing and manipulating the hands to get this club head to really get in that consistent impact position. So it's a really key area to try and fix. So make sure you stick around. Just in a couple of minutes I'm going to take you through a really good drill that will really show you how to get that lead leg in that correct position. So from face on, what should the lead leg be doing? Okay, so if I'm set up and I get to the top here, what I want it to be doing is I want it to be internally rotating and not bumping out like that, so that it gets out of this alignment, this sort of straight alignment that you see here, which is called neutral joint alignment. We want that lead hip to be working more in and back. So if I was to draw a straight line up my hip here, what I'd want to see happen when I get to the top, when I start down and I work my legs down, what I want to see happen is that lead leg actually works back slightly behind that line and it straightens at the same time. So it looks something like this. And that allows the body to turn through, get that forward shaft lean, particularly with your irons, and really strike the ball a lot more consistency. So that's the position that you want to be able to get it in. So the lead leg during the backswing also has a role to play. So what it should do is move slightly to the right for a right-hander. So I'm making a backswing. I want it to move slightly this way. It's probably not as critical in the backswing as it is in the downswing, but for the backswing we want to, as we're slightly shifting our weight, slightly this way, and then we want it coming back in behind us on that downswing. And another key area to look at before I get into the drill, on the downswing, what we want to see happen is this gap between our legs. We want it to get wider. So when I spoke about earlier about getting that extra access tilt and pushing those hips, which was the incorrect way, what normally happens with that is our rear leg gets kicked in and it gets a lot closer to the lead leg, and that's not what we want to happen, what we want to see happen. And that looks something like this. You watch that rear leg, it moves closer and we get in a really awkward position like this. So what we'd like to see happen is that gap actually slightly widen, and it should look, if I go to the top like this, as I start, you can see that gap in between my legs just slightly widens, and it allows me to bring the club in and really compress the golf ball. I don't want to see that leg kicking in and really pushing in towards this one, getting in this really awkward impact position. So you want that gap in those legs to get slightly wider as we get into that sort of pre-impact position, and we want that lead leg to straighten. So as I spoke about earlier, as we come down, as that lead leg internally rotates, so when it's straightening, And coming in behind, that's nice and straight. This would be a tiny bit bent, the rear leg. And we're in that perfect impact position there to strike a lot of solid golf shots. So we want that more rotation of that lead leg, like that, not like that, which just pushes me back in that position. I want it turning it internally, rotating it so I can get the club through on that much better path. So I've got a really simple drill. You can do this a number of different ways, but I've got an alignment stick here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this in the ground somewhere like about so. And this is something you can practice at home, probably against a wall inside your house. You probably don't need to be really even hitting balls with this or even practicing in your backyard. What I want to do is set up with my lead foot against the alignment stick, take my setup. And what I want to do is when I make my swing, as I come down, I want to feel like it comes slightly away from that alignment stick as I rotate it. So if I come down, as I rotate, see it's coming away slightly from that line. Now you see a lot of the really good players do rehearsal moves like this in practice. I saw a video of Adam Scott, I think about a year ago, before he was hitting a driver, and he was sitting there on the back of the tee block, and all he was doing was going like this. He's practicing this move of wide and getting that lead hip back. He's practicing that move over and over. I think there's another Swedish guy on the PGA Tour that's famous for it as well, really practicing that move, getting that lead hip back. So that's all you do, is chuck an alignment stick. You can probably do this with a golf club or even putting a chair there or a golf bag. Get it on your lead leg, get set up, make a backswing, downswing. Lead leg pulls away. We've got that little bit of gap in between our legs, and it enables you to make it so much easier to bring that club on a much shallower path on the downswing and get that forward shaft lean when you really internally rotate this lead leg. Whereas if I was to do it the incorrect way and I bump my hips, I'm going to smash into that alignment stick, and then it's all wrist work trying to time the rest of the golf swing. So give that drill a try. Remember, you can practice that anywhere, and that will really help by getting that internal rotation, really help you get a bit more speed in your golf swing, particularly the downswing, and a lot more club face control, because you're not going to be relying on your hands to time it. You're really just going to be, the club face will come in at a much smoother angle, and there'll be less rotation, and it won't really rotate until after you've struck the ball, which is perfectly normal. So make sure you give that a shot. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Have any questions or comments, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Love to have you on board. I've also got a couple of links down below to a couple of extra golf instruction that I know will really help you out, so make sure you click on those. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.